Coming up, you asked us questions, we gave you answers. We're going to give you answers. Yeah, that's how it goes on this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. I'm your host, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by my co-host, Ryno.
Hello.
And welcome to this week's show. Sorry we didn't get the question and answers to you last week. It's because, quite frankly, no one actually asked questions. There was a couple that came in later, and then we got a couple in email. So I probably should mention at the beginning of the shows when we're doing question and answer episodes, so that way you know right away at the beginning that we're actually going to be answering questions. Because when I stick it in the last 2 seconds of the show, no one's listening all the way through to the end. I listen to plenty of podcasts, and as soon as it starts getting to all that boring stuff, I tune out, so I get it. I need to start doing it at the beginning. But we do have a nice list of questions that we're going to go over for you today, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And hey, next episode we do, that's going to be our Halloween Horror Nights breakdown. So get ready for it. But before we get to that, just want to remind you that this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content and you want to support us, please consider booking your next vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel and get that free, no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Okay, Ryno, there are so many good questions to choose from, and I think I'm gonna choose a fun one to start off with. One that we definitely have not talked about on a show yet, but this one came from Saturday Morning Fan, and they asked, did you guys watch the Universal Studios Beijing videos of the new Jurassic Park ride and Kung Fu Panda ride and land walkthrough videos? Jurassic Park looked crazy. Also, you guys never talked about Poseidons Fury getting roped behind walls and may come back again. May or may not come back again. I know we both watched at least the Jurassic World ride video because I sent it to you. And what's your thoughts on that?
Oh my God, what are my thoughts on it? It's like dinosaur on steroids. It's everything I would want a Jurassic Park dark ride to be. I mean, I only saw the one part where the Indominus Rex comes out around the corner, but the fact that it's like a full body head to toe, and the fact that it's like chasing you for as long as it is, like, whoo, it looks great.
Yeah, it absolutely does look great, and I've watched the full thing. I haven't been paying attention to a lot of the videos coming out of Beijing, and it's actually kind of hilarious that I'm not, because one of my closest friends is actually over in Beijing right now trying to get that park opened up. And yeah, I think as soon as I saw that Jurassic World footage from that attraction, I kind of wanted to stop looking at photos and videos from it, because it went from me being like, yeah, Beijing, maybe if I'm over there, then I would give it a shot. And now seeing that attraction, knowing it's probably not going to ever come to our parks here on either coast, either the East Coast or West Coast, I know I'm going to have to get out one day to Beijing so I can see that ride.
Well, because Jurassic Park is one of the properties that's not rumored to cross over into that new theme park, is it? It's like
no.
Yeah, which is a shame, right? Because it's now I'm like, God, rip up River Country and put that there. Like, I'm not even trying to be mean. Like, I love River Country and stuff like that. But my God, if they could do something like that here, give it to me.
I believe you're meaning Toon Lagoon when you keep saying River Country, or are you talking about River Adventure?
No, I'm saying River Adventure. Sorry.
Okay.
River Country, I think, is a water park in New England. River Country. No, it's Water Country. Water Country.
River Country was the name of the water park that isn't open at Walt Disney World anymore.
Perfect. Close it. Universal can buy it and put a Jurassic Park ride there. I would love to. This is one of those examples of being like, it's all about saying I don't want copycat attractions in places until somewhere far away and difficult to get to gets one, and then I'm upset about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay with copycat when it's not domestic. If it's as soon as you start going into the international parks, if they do something better, bring it over here. But I don't need the same thing in Hollywood that I need in Florida. It's the United States is a big country, but it doesn't take that much time to travel across from one side to the other. And I'm saying, even if you live up in Maine and you have the furthest to go, it's still, relatively speaking, it's not that long compared to going all the way to any of the Asian parks that are out there. That's much further. But
Beijing do they have Nintendo too, or is that a coming later thing, or are they not even building that there? Have they not even talked about that?
I don't think Beijing is opening with Nintendo. It may be part of the plans. I could be completely wrong about it, but I don't believe that it was supposed to open at all with Nintendo. And
should I watch the Kung Fu Panda stuff? Because I love Kung Fu Panda. I love the first movie, at least. I can't say that I've kept up with everything after that.
I haven't even watched it. I saw the Jurassic World footage and I was like, I will watch that because now that I've seen this, I'm okay spoiling the rest of it. But it's a park that I don't want to see anything else with. And then there's other stuff I know because since they get Jurassic World in kind of a Transformer style ride, instead of taking the Incredible Hulk coaster, which obviously would probably have some issues putting that in a new park, considering there's no Marvel deals or anything in terms of Universal expanding into other parks. So that's Disney's territory on that, but they can't take the Incredible Hulk coaster and put it in Beijing. So instead they make that a Transformers coaster and theme it along that level too. So I know little stuff like that. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. I'm super, super excited, though. The little bit of photos that I really have seen from it are a lot of their City Walk, because that's up and running. And the thing I love about their City Walk, while you're going to China, you really want to stick to you probably want to stick to the food that's there. But for leery Americans or anyone who's more picky about food, they have twosome there, and I think they built cowfish there as well too. So it's not like you're walking into territory where you're like, there's nothing for me to find. They brought a lot of these staple Universal City Walk Orlando restaurants over to Beijing as part of that park too. So I'm sold on it. It's just, when will we ever be able to travel over there? That I do not know. I don't.
I know.
But okay, we are going to move on to our next question, though. Thank you so much for asking it. And our next question comes from Brian, and this is a two-part question. We're each to say what is...
Wait.
What?
We didn't say anything about the Poseidon thing, though.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. Okay. I'll pause on that one. Poseidon's Fury... I don't know why it's behind construction walls. I don't know if it's because they're revamping the front area. I am not sure. I have also said, though, I think Poseidon's Fury falls into the it's so bad it's good category. But for me, if you can put something great there, I don't need something that's just good. And it takes up a lot of space. So I would be happy if we find out that Poseidon's Fury is not coming back and they're able to do something else with that footprint. And I know Zelda always gets thrown out every now and then, and I don't even care about that. I just think it's a big space. You have Sinbad right beside it as well too. That is a big space that needs something done with it. Let's move forward on it and figure out Mythos later. And maybe Mythos can stay by itself since so many people love it. But I don't love Mythos either, so I'd say just get rid of all the Lost Continent. Just be done with it.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't have anything. I haven't heard a rumor or anything about what it could be. That's all. So I'm just like, I don't know. But I am not attached to a single thing over there except for the shawarma stuff.
Yeah.
Not shawarma. It wasn't shawarma. It was
it's gyros, but I mean gyros and shawarma, it's all the same thing. But
fluffy bread.
Yeah, it's
stuff inside.
Exactly. So, okay, we're going to move on now to Brian's question. And each of us need to say what our favorite haunted house from HHN ever has been. And then do we have a favorite? He said skids, but I'm pretty sure he meant slide. Do we have a favorite slide at Volcano Bay? So I'm going to start with Volcano Bay. I'll just say
my favorite one of the ones you left the skid marks on.
Yeah, gosh, I was going to make a joke along that too, but then I was going to go straight forward with it and say Volcano Bay, I've been on every single slide there, but the Krakatoa water coaster is literally the best. That thing is so much fun. Of course, second place would be the one tube ride that took me for a ride. Yeah. But no, Krakatoa water coaster is my favorite. Ryno, do you have a favorite?
No, I don't think I've experienced enough to be like, that one's my favorite. I've got to go do it again. I don't even remember which one. Oh yeah, Krakatoa. You're in like the long raft and you go down and it shoots you up. Yep. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I would say I'd agree with that. I think that one was a lot of fun. Yeah. That one was I know that Disney's got one that does something similar, but I felt like it was unique and different enough, and much longer than the Disney one too. So it was like it was a lot of fun. I forgot the other question.
HHN house, your favorite one, all time.
I think Poltergeist. I really liked Poltergeist.
You know what? I was literally trying to think back to all the different houses because it has been so many over the years, and the first one that came to my mind was Poltergeist. And I even, I considered stuff like Universal Monsters and The Shining, The Exorcist, Lightning Gulch, HR Blood and Guts, the year they did the Edgar Allan Poe Nevermore house. Like, I considered a lot, but then I was like, ooh, but Poltergeist was so good. And I don't know if it's just because we did it for Stay and Scream so many times that it got lodged in there, but it also just was a perfect adaptation of that movie. So yeah, I think Poltergeist is definitely up there.
I think it was one that for me, I feel like delivered the entire time. Like some houses you go through and then you're like, okay, I know where everyone's going to scare me. I know what they're going to do. Like, it's still, even by the end of it, having done it as many times as we did, I still felt like I was like, ooh, this is good. Like, being nervous, like, and scared. And yeah, it's hard because for me, I agree with you. Like, The Shining, was a great one too. Ghostbusters, I really still enjoyed, for being able to do that again. And but I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the first one that always jumps into my head.
Yeah. Well, and for us, it was kind of even like cool to see the way we experienced it, because the first night, we're slightly buzzed and looking at it through camera lenses and cameras, and that's not a great way to take in any house at all. And so then the next time we really get to experience these houses is when we go back on our own, and at that point, it's a lot of times, like with Poltergeist, we were doing Stay and Scream. So we constantly only saw it during the daytime. And you would walk through, you would walk into the pool and in the underground portion, and you could hear stuff going off, but you couldn't really see characters because your eyes didn't have any time to adjust. So then, like, after many, many times of going in during daylight hours, we finally went in when it was already dark. And it was like doing a complete different house, because then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, we never saw this stuff.
There are coffins in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always that whole beginning part was always so difficult. Like, I was always just like, somebody could grab me and throw me into anything in this room right now, and I couldn't tell you what.
Yeah. Yep. So we're going to keep on the HHN train here, though, and it's not going to be all HHN questions, but I will be honest, most of the people asking questions asked stuff about HHN. So we probably could have just made this the HHN Q&A episode and really, really kept it at that. But Jay Lassify said, I'm going to get to this part. I have a question for the show. We will be in town for the 50th at the other park in town, but we're doing one evening at HHN. I've never been, and I am so excited. You may have already done this at some point, but I would love pointers on how to tackle HHN as a first-timer with only one night. Everything from best route through the park, food expectations, best viewing areas, and times for shows. Do the shows even happen more than once? Can't wait for Hill House and Beetlejuice. And so first and foremost, I'm going to say, and we'll kind of tear this apart as we go through. My first advice is look at the list of houses and think about, out of all the ones you see, think about which ones are your must-dos, and definitely come up with a strategy for trying to experience those. If one of the houses you want to do is part of a Stay and Scream, one of those areas, definitely consider spending the extra $30 to get that ticket that allows you to just get in the park at 3:00 so you can get in a Stay and Scream zone and start the houses a little bit earlier versus everyone else. But really figure out which ones you want to do, because you know what? If Texas Chainsaw Massacre is all the way at the bottom of your list and you have low expectations for it, you don't get to it, at least you're not going to be sitting there saying like, well, what if it would have been great? It was at the bottom, but you don't want your number 1 or 2 house to be left undone. And then you're going to have that feeling of, well, what did I miss by not doing that? And make your list of what you want to do first and then start breaking it apart there. And then you can always go with something like Express if you really want to make sure you get everything done.
You can do half a night Express too if you feel like you're getting toward the end of the night. What?
Half a night of VIP tour.
Oh, half a night VIP tour. Yeah, because my friend Nicole would do that sometimes. And isn't it if you do it in the later half of the night, it's less money? Did I make that up?
No, it is. I don't know if it's one of those things that's always offered, especially if all the RIP tours are sold out. And you know what? We're living in different times, so maybe they quit that. But yeah, it was basically I'm not going to get this exactly right, but yeah, about halfway through the event, they would open up half RIP tours where you'd get to do half of the houses basically. And I want to say it wasn't though like a direct one where it's like 50% of the price. I think it was like, you're still paying 60 something percent of the price, but you do then get to start expediting your way through a lot of the houses, because an RIP tour, which is also something you could consider, is a guaranteed way to do every single house and show at least once. So that's also an option too.
I think for me, it's like I always pay attention to the wait time in the apps, and you just kind of like it's like what Craig said about having the ones that you definitely want to do. Like you said, Beetlejuice and Hill House. I think those are going to be very, very popular. 2 very popular houses is my guess. So it's kind of like trying to get those out of the way as soon as you can, and then just kind of pay attention to the other houses, because they will ebb and flow in terms of business. Like sometimes they'll drop down to 20 and then pop back up to 40 and whatever. It's just kind of being like, okay, I was headed this way, but this one says this way. Let me just turn around and run over to the other one. It's going to be a little crazy because you'll be right next to a house. You're like, well, I'm right here. I could just go into this entrance. But if one down by like ET has less of a wait, you're going to want to go over to that one and then come back this way, because it's just inevitable. It's a good time too is if you don't care much for the Lagoon show, which I haven't seen yet, so I don't know if I want to say like you could miss out on that, but that'll happen periodically throughout the night, right?
Yeah, the shows will
historically.
Yeah, the shows will happen at least. Usually the one inside the theater, the Fear Factor live stage, that show will typically happen, I want to say average 4 times a night. And the Lagoon show obviously has to wait until it's dark. So it shows 2 to 3 times a night. And you know what? But for both of those, you don't need to get there super early. Like back in the days of Bill and Ted, you want to get a great spot. And you want to make sure you get in that show. So yeah, get there early. But with these ones, I mean, I'm not saying they might end up being the highlight for you, but for me, the houses are always the highlight. Even though we do talk highly about the Lagoon show, but the Lagoon show you can watch from basically any of the viewing area and still take it in. You don't need that front row center spot. That's not going to make it somehow better. Just as long as you're in the viewing area.
Just make sure you're on the right side. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't try and watch it from the other side of the street. You won't be able to understand it. Yeah,
exactly. Make sure you're in Central Park. Do not watch it from San Francisco. You can do that, or like even close by Transformers. You can watch it from over there, but just remember everything will be backwards, and they also project onto the buildings, so you're going to miss out on details if you're not in Central Park. So, yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind with that. And you already mentioned with the routes along the parks. Follow the app, follow the wait times. Don't follow a specific route of, okay, I'm going to start here and then work through every house in that order. Go to where the wait times are low and try to get there as soon as you find out that they're low, because everyone else is also looking and will try to rush it. But it's all about being the fastest and getting to the places you want to go. The only other thing I'm going to talk about that was mentioned in the question was the food. And I would say, food, it is good food, but if you're really rushed, eat when you're hungry. Don't eat to be like, I need to take advantage of this food that's here. The houses and the entertainment, that's the priority.
There's a lot of food this year. There's a lot of variety in the food this year, which is really nice and something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, look at the list that's out there. I know Craig wrote an article about it that's on uofan.com. You can check that out where he highlights a bunch of the stuff. So I'd be like, if there's something where you're like, okay, if I am going to eat, I'm going to eat this, circle that, make sure you've got it in your notes so you know where it is and where you're going. And then that'll help you. So then when you're in that area, if you see like the line short, you can hop in or out of that. But yeah, I am excited to experience the food this year though, because it does look like there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, I'd say like if you want classic HHN food, even though you can get twisted taters at different events throughout the
pizza fries.
Year, yeah, go for a twisted tater, pizza fries. Go for the classics of Halloween Horror Nights, and get your Blinky cup with your specialty drink. If you don't, only if you do drink. I mean, don't pick up alcohol for the first time ever just because you want a Blinky cup. It's not that important.
Maybe not at Halloween Horror Nights, at least. I don't know if that's the first place you ever want to be intoxicated while drinking. I'd be afraid.
Very, very true. But above all, have a great time. And I hope you enjoy both Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. But okay, next question comes from Deborah. It also might be Deborah. I'm not completely sure on that.
Deborah.
Yeah, it's one or the other. But Deb said, this is going to be a hard one to read because I think there was also a typo in here. Do you think the new park is going to affect Universal's laid back atmosphere? I enjoy not having to rush to see everything, but I think the new park will change that. Ryno, do you have any thoughts on that?
No. Wait. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, Rocket. I don't know if you could see him jumped off the bed behind me and then went down the stairs. So I was a little distracted by how high he just jumped. I thought he was going to collapse.
It's all good. The question was, do we think that the new park, Epic Universe, will change the laid back atmosphere of Universal? And it's a great question.
No. I don't laid back. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to change. I think it will be a new type of. We talked about this on the show like way back when, where we were looking at the concept art. I think it's going to be this new type of like micro theme parks. So it's going to be like all these really intricately themed lands that you're going to go in and out of and stuff like that. So I think it'll play itself similar to how like Islands of Adventure can be sometimes, where like, you'll be in the park and you'll be like, oh, there's not a lot of people over here, or there's more people in Marvel Island but not a lot of people in Seuss Landing right now. And then you'll get to the Harry Potter stuff and be like, good God, is this where the entire theme park is? But then that means, well, everybody's over here, maybe I'll go ride Velocicoaster right now. So I think it'll be broken up in that kind of aspect, but not in that circular motion, because it'll be like pockets here and there, which I think it'll be nice, because I think you'll be able to kind of grasp a little bit more of like the coming and goings of people, in sense of like if you see like this massive flow of people going into one island, you're like, you know what, today I'm going to go over to this other, or not island, whatever they're going to call them, I don't know, other universes, whatever, but yeah.
This is it's a great question, and it's a tough question, because obviously it will impact the laid back nature of it, because right now everyone who visits Universal that goes regularly is pretty much used to saying, okay, we have 2 parks plus Volcano Bay during a 5-night stay, or more or less. It's still very easy to accomplish everything without rushing around. And once you add in a brand new theme park, you are adding extra to do. So you might have to start considering extra nights at Universal to be able to still maintain that laid back atmosphere and feeling that you like out of it. But I mean, it's also brand new stuff that you haven't done before once you go and experience it. And look at when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened at Islands of Adventure, and then opened Diagon Alley later. These areas are very busy. So whatever the park looks like on opening day with attractions and such, we don't know exactly, but I can promise it's going to be busy for a while, because it's going to be the first new theme park in Orlando in how long? So people are going to want to get to see it. But in terms of being laid back at Universal, they know what works for them, and they know how their guests love enjoying their parks. They don't want to mess with that recipe. They just want to build on it. So I don't think the entire mindset of how you visit Universal is going to change, but it might be a little more annoying for a short period of time.
For a little bit of time, yeah.
And plus also, you do have to factor in that it's on a different campus than the regular campus right now. So there will be transportation involved and such, but there's going to be a lot of working parts in here that we just kind of have to wait and see how it's all going to play out. But I think they're going to go for the relaxing vibe, just like their parks currently have. So no worries there. But
imagine if they were like, no, I think we're going to do a thing where we're just constantly playing on a loop, nails on a chalkboard, and just making people really stressed out.
I mean, you know what? It could always happen too. Crazier things have happened. We have attractions based on Jimmy Fallon and Fast and the Furious. So anything in the world can happen. Anything in the universe can happen, I should say. Boom. Nailed it. Okay, next question comes from Kelly and says, hello, Craig and Ryno. We are DVC owners coming to Orlando at the end of April, I believe, for a cheer competition. Because the competition may be at Universal, we are considering staying at a premier Universal resort. We will probably spend a good amount of time there, so we are looking for a resort to enjoy the amenities, especially the pool. Probably limited park time. What's your favorite premium resort, and what do you like best about each one? Thanks, guys, from Kelly. And so Kelly is asking between the 3 different premier resorts, so either Portofino Bay, Hard Rock Hotel, Royal Pacific. Which one would we choose out of them? And then highlights of each of them. So I'm going to start with the highlights of each of them. Royal Pacific, I love the vibe. I love the not Polynesian necessarily, but South Pacific atmosphere of the resort. It's very relaxing. It's on the Islands of Adventure side, which I actually do. I go to islands, I think, a little bit more than studios. So if I am going into a park, I'm closer from that perspective. And I think a lot of the food in bars there are decent. I like Jake's a lot, and Islands not as much, but a lot of people love Islands dining room, and so I know I'm in the minority on that one. At Hard Rock Hotel, I think they have an awesome pool, and their proximity, being closest to City Walk in Universal Studios Florida, is a big selling point. And then Portofino Bay, I think, is the most luxurious of all the hotels, and it's very comfortable. It's very relaxing. And the nice part about that is it is so far away from everything that if you're only there to enjoy the hotel, I feel like you can actually enjoy this one the most because you're so cut off from everything else. So,
and they have really cool, that one has really cool pool. The one pool area that's got the ruins, and then the other pool that's a little bit more of a quieter pool for.
I think they have 3 pools, if I can remember correctly. It's been a while since I've been over to Portofino. They definitely have 2 pools. They have the main one that you just described and a quiet one. I think they have a 3rd quiet one too. And of course, they've got Bache.
The Bache. I think in order from, even though I haven't stayed at all of them, I've stayed at two of those. I think maybe Hard Rock aesthetically for me just connect with a little bit more. But that one I haven't actually stayed in. But also it's like what you said. It's close, nice and close to City Walk, nice and short walk. Same with low. Like I'm a walk person. I don't want to be on waiting for any buses or transportation or anything like that. But Portofino is really like when you're on the boat over to Portofino and it like comes out from under the bridge and you see that whole area. I'm just always like, wow, this is a really pretty hotel. And it's definitely like top of that line in terms of, that sort of thing. But I'd say for me, it's like Hard Rock. My God,
Portofino or Royal Pacific?
No, Royal Pacific. Yeah,
Okay.
I got, because in my head I got stuck on what does Pete always call us? I was thinking Jade,
Emerald Bay.
Emerald Bay. He always calls Sapphire Falls Emerald Bay. But yeah, so I'd say Hard Rock. And then like Portofino's on the bottom, I think for me. But they're all good choices. You get the express pass with all those stays, so it's really like, can't beat it.
Yeah, I love that though, because we are completely different on that, because I think Portofino probably is, to me, if you're not going to the parks or anything and just worrying about the cheer competition and such, then I think Portofino is the one that you can get the most out of just staying at the hotel itself. And then,
was that part of the question?
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the question was just what are our favorites of the top 3? Like if you were just staying and vibing at the hotel, Portofino, no question. Because Hard Rock, I feel it can get a little like clustery and loud because it's like Craig said, that people love that pool. So I feel like there's a lot of commotion around at the pool. So it can get a little hectic.
Yeah. I will say, though, Hard Rock is a very close second to me because I think they have a lot of great dining. The kitchen is an awesome restaurant.
Yeah.
The Palm, I love that.
Yeah, the Palm's
as a
really
steakhouse.
good. Yeah.
And Emac and Bolio's. There's so much good at Hard Rock. And then Royal Pacific, again, we mentioned the good parts of it, but to me, that's just
the dining
doesn't compare.
Yeah. Yeah. The dining's lacking a little bit over there. That right now, at least right now. So, because they closed the other Emeralds, that was over there, the one that was downstairs. Did that become something else? Remember when you're down
Chop
by
Chop.
the pool?
Yeah, I literally forgot about Chop Chop. Yeah, they need
yeah.
something to replace the Chop Chop, the signature dining experience. But when they did it, it also made sense because for a while there, they tried to move Royal Pacific into the preferred category along with Sapphire Falls. But then they couldn't take away the free express from Royal Pacific, so instead of
Disney takes away everything.
Well, Universal is not in that realm. So instead of confusing people, like, hey, why doesn't Royal Pacific have express anymore? It always had it. Instead of that, they just moved it back into the premier tier of hotels. So it's at the end of the day, with all three of them, I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong at any of the Universal hotels until you start getting to like Aventura and Endless Summer. And that's just because I feel like those are all a little bit more sterile and meant for very specific reasons. But even I'll throw in Sapphire Falls too. I think you can have a very comfortable stay at Sapphire Falls. And with Cabana Bay, it might be a little bit more hectic because a lot of groups are there. But if you like the 50s aesthetic, also not a crazy choice. But yeah, I'm thinking Portofino is a safe bet. Okay, another HHN question from Candace saying, my daughter is a little young for HHN, so we aren't doing it when we come, but just wondering what you can experience from the event during the day at the park. Well, the answer to that is during the day this year, back in normal HHN times, nothing. So HHN is exclusively the after hours event and with the extra ticket price. So they're not doing the houses during the day like they did last time around in 2020 because of the pandemic canceling Halloween Horror Nights. So if you want to see HHN, you have to actually go to it. And if you're thinking your daughter's probably a little too young, I think you're probably right. It's sometimes I do question when I'm walking around the park and I see someone bringing a toddler around, and I'm never usually seeing tears with it, except once they pull them inside the houses because they get so loud. But in the streets, it's usually not a problem. It's the houses where it becomes an issue. But good call on really monitoring the age of your child and what they'll be able to handle, because there are people who don't. But getting away from that, during the day, you will see a lot of the props from the scare zones still left out, just not with scare actors in them. And, sometimes in some years it can be stuff that's disturbing to some people. But this year, I've seen all the scare zones and there's nothing that's like super grotesque that like you don't want to see. But at the same time, you're just looking at the scare zones and the stages. You're not being scared in them. So in terms of Halloween, there's not a lot, which would be great. And but it's not. It's just not part of it. And yeah, I think I basically covered it all. Ryno, did you have anything else to say with that?
No, it was literally that, except for you did say with no characters in them, and then I was going to be like, probably just me living inside of it.
Yeah, Ryno might jump out and scare you one day. Who knows? Which just, if he's bored, he could do that.
Hi! I just want to just pop up and down every now and then.
Well, you scared me there. I will say, I don't believe I saw anything about it coming back this year, and this could just be bad research. And I feel like they would have mentioned it in a press release. But in 2019, they did the extra Halloween event in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter over at Islands of Adventure in the Hogsmeade section. They had the Death Eaters in there that went along with the Halloween season, and I would love for that to come back. And again, I believe I have not seen anything about that, and I understand why, because we're technically still kind of in a pandemic with it. But that maybe in the future that will be a thing that they continue to do, but I don't think that's happening this year. And that's all I have to say about that. But okay, we have one final question for you.
Alabama.
And yeah, Greenbow, Alabama. This one comes from Rachel, and it is also a Halloween Horror Nights question. And this is
Rachel?
No, it's not Rachel.
Oh, okay.
But this one also is a terrible question to wait for last on, but it's the last of the questions, so I'm just going to ask it. And says, I'm a big pin collector and never done Universal before. This is my first time. What's the HHN pin specific situation like? Is there one? Thanks. There are pins. There are. Yeah. They make them with the logos and stuff on them. But in terms of like collectible value, I think it's more of, do you enjoy this and do you want to see it or wear it or display it? Yeah. Do you want it instead of buying a T-shirt? Would you rather have a pin? Yeah, they're there, but it's not. Universal is not Disney with a pin resale market and such. That maybe someone will tell me I'm wrong here with this, but it's not crazy like that. So if you see something you like it, yeah, you're going to be able to get it, but don't think that it's going to be worth any more than what you actually paid for it. It doesn't play off on audio, obviously, but well, I guess it does because it's just awkward silence. But on video, it's fun being able to see Ryno's stone face of, I have nothing to say about this. So can we just please move on?
Yeah, I don't. I do have a question. I have a Universal Studios Orlando, Florida Halloween Horror Nights related question, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I don't know it, and maybe it's from one of the original houses, but do you see the little plush demon?
No.
I'm going to show it to you right now if you haven't.
Show me.
Because I don't know what it is from, but I took this from Alicia's Twitter account, and she tweets so much that I am going to... Oh, here he is. Who's this?
Yeah, it's obvious. Ryno, you're putting it closer and it's not focusing on that.
It says,
I'm not sure.
Adorable evil bat. That's all. And I love him more than... Oh, maybe somebody asked her. It just is like... I was like, oh my God, they have little stuffed demons this year that I'm like, okay, I need to stop with the stuffed animals. Like, I am texting it to you because that's what normal people would do. But I am like, oh my God, this thing is so cute.
I will say
I haven't gone in the house yet. Into the store.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure, but it's in the store.
I will say that was not in the store on opening day of the store when I went, but there has been more merchandise released as it's gotten closer to the event. I don't know what this bat demon thing is, but yeah, it's cute. So it just might be from HHN before my time, or it just might have been, oh, this is cute. Let's put this in a store. But I don't know who thinks bat demons are cute. Someone out there.
I can't believe I thought it was a dog until she just said bat, and I'm like, well, clearly it has wings. I don't know why I thought it was a dog.
Hey, listen.
I'm the guy in Ghostbusters who goes, was that a dog? Was that a bear?
I was going to say that dog from Coco had wings. The dogs from All Dogs Go to Heaven had
my
wings.
Gosh. Maybe it's supposed to be like the anti-Alabreja, like the evil version of it.
Hey, then they can just check off 2 holidays. They can check off Halloween and Dia de Muertos. So it works for me. If it's good for everyone else.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. Guys, I don't know what I'm going to do. The big day is coming up. I don't know.
It is. So as of the time that you might be watching or listening to this, Ryno and I are either getting ready to go experience Halloween Horror Nights, or we are already there experiencing it. And I cannot wait to talk about it. I am just so excited. The great thing that I heard coming out of it from a person I'm very close to and love very deeply said that the best house that she went through was actually Wicked Growth, the Realm of the Pumpkins. And
that's high on my list.
Yeah, so I'm in. She did not do everything, but the ones she did, she kind of shared just a little bit of what she liked out of it, and so I was able to like kind of alter my expectations with some of the houses. So I'm very excited. Ryno, I told you on Tuesday to start watching Hill House. Did you?
No.
Ryno, you failed me.
I know. I will have watched at the bare minimum an episode by the event tomorrow because I can't go into the house blind.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's the question though, is then which episode? I think if you can even try to get...
I pick... How far into it do I need to get? I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I guess I wouldn't know. I haven't been in the house, so I don't...
I haven't been in the house either, but so basically the first 5 episodes, each one of them covers one of the different characters kind of from their perspective. So that's why I'm like, okay, where can you get the gist of it? So I'm going to look at the list of the episodes and I'll tell you, it might be like 3 episodes that you need to watch. Just because I want to make sure you know some of the ghosts that you're most likely going to see in the house, because that's really what it comes down to is the ghosts that you see. If you see like, random people screaming and all scared, you kind of...
I'm not going to know who's who.
Exactly. Thank you. It's not going to be like, oh, that ruined that for me. But some of the ghosts, there is one ghost in particular that you kind of have to know who the ghost is.
How many episodes of this show are there?
There's 10, and they're all solid
sugar.
hour
I thought there was
long.
like 6.
No, there's 10, and they're all an hour. Like maybe one of them it's like 45 minutes, but there's not enough time now to watch them.
I got to go to the movies tonight.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, but I would come home from the movie and try to say, okay, I'll watch 2 tonight, and then watch 1 more in the morning. And
I probably will.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good deal.
Do that.
Good deal. Okay.
Yeah. Because I want to keep myself up late so that I am late tomorrow night, so I'm not getting sleepy when we're getting scared.
Okay. I will make sure I get that list to you so you are prepared for when you get home. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We can't wait to share it. So keep an eye out for house videos. We'll have videos from all of the houses. Of course, never the full walkthrough, just kind of the highlights of them, but we'll have all of that. Hopefully we'll have the shows. Scare zones will come later because we don't get to do those really on the first night, except like run through really quickly. I'm sure Ryno and I will share some stuff on our social medias, Teleclaster and Ryno1185 and
RYNO.
RYNO1185. And with that too, we're gonna also maybe do a vlog. I don't know. We didn't talk about that yet. We've done them before, and then sometimes we don't. We'll just have to see what ends up happening.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough,
stressful because the equipment's all dying, so it stresses me out. It's hard.
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk about that too off air. But, okay, that's it, though. Thank you so much for sending in your questions. We will do another one of these in the future, so you can always leave questions, comments, and video suggestions every single week in the comments section. I keep track of them all. That's a great place to leave them. Make sure you're subscribed to UOFan on YouTube so you get all the notifications for the new videos that we have coming out, because they're going to start coming now that we're getting into Halloween season. And also, please make sure you hit thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. And for the listeners out there, please make sure you are subscribed wherever you listen to the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. And if it's through Apple Podcasts, if you don't mind leaving us a 5-star rating and review, we'd really appreciate it. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Thank you so much, Ryno. I know. You're muted because of the dogs.
Yeah.
I know.
Thank you. Oh, there he is. He's agreeing with me.
Yeah. I was going to hope that you were just going to give us like the good nod, yes. The Robert Redford meme nod that everyone loves sending. That's not the one. I don't know what that was. That was like
that's not Robert Redford. I was doing Robert De Niro.
Yeah, I was going to say. God. I was like, you're kind of doing it, but yeah. Yeah.
The Robert Redford one was this one. I know the one you're talking about now that everyone thinks is Zach Galifianakis.
Exactly. So you were doing Robert De Niro more with the mouse style, very similar to Knocked Up, where I believe they're going back. These shoes? Yeah, that's what it's from. Yeah. I'm hoping were they doing De Niro? Yeah, they were doing De Niro in it. Okay, we're wrapping up this episode. Thank you so much, everyone out there, for watching and listening. We hope you appreciate it, and we will see you again soon with another episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Until then, remember, we still haven't changed the name.